I'm not in general a big fan of rounding people up and things like that. And I'm worried that I'm going to get rounded up. I'm very round upable, I feel. I feel like I just have a face you want to round up. I don't know. But, there's also a lot of these accusations about things like woke mind virus. And I don't think it's a mind virus. I think what we have is just very, very normal patterns of human social psychology at play, where people, I can go into it more in depth, and I will go into it more in depth, but there's a decay, right? There's a natural decay. People naturally become more fearful over time. The things they believe, were taught to them by their parents, were taught to them by their parents, and there's this natural process of things becoming more dogmatic and people becoming more extreme and more neurotic and more needing to exert force over the people around them and less willing to tolerate difference. And people on the left have a lot of things they're not allowed to say. There's a lot of political correctness. And people need to be aware this creates blind spots. When you're saying that certain ideas, certain things are wrong, you shouldn't think it. Well, if it's not wrong, if there's a kernel of truth and something you need to look at, you might not look at it. You might not be able to see it. You might take the question of whether it's there at all and just reject it out of hand, right? And so now you have a lot of people who are very concerned about the left, and people on the left who are like, no, we're the good guys. This is bullshit. It's like, no, there's a lot of real concerns. And I hope to help people understand. I want to help people understand so we can build a brighter future. So in terms of reforming the society, right? Because these institutions have accumulated power over time. The system has become more and more entrenched over the years, and as it becomes more entrenched, it has become more and more of a total system. You have education system, the media, the government, everything's kind of cohering into what people are starting to call a blob, and it's starting to force people to be silenced and things like that. And when this kind of happens, people rightly become concerned. And needing to, beat back the system, to clear the brush, to have a little cleansing fire, a lot of folks, including myself, have come to view that as unfortunately necessary, right? It's better to not throw the baby out with the bathwater, but sometimes that bathwater is going to give everybody, respiratory disease. You need to get rid of the bathwater for whatever reason, right? It gets bad sometimes. And the issue is that how can you actually do that? At what cost are you doing that? And what kind of damage to society as a whole is going to come from that? And what are the consequences going to be for normal people, right? And I think there's a concern with Trump that, it doesn't really end at a good, healthy place. He has a lot of questionable allies and Confederates. And, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if things start going in a negative direction there, right? And part of the issue is that folks can't get it together enough in terms of a public discourse to actually try to delineate what a healthy reform, right? Even if it's like a hostile takeover of the government and a relatively muscular exertion of executive power, what is the actual place where it becomes problematic? So we recently had, senior members of the military let go. Well, okay, that's, when everybody's a loyalist, what happens next, right? That's the other side of the coin. So, Tizzy level 6, I guess. Was I calling it Tizzy before? Did I change what the scale is? Either way, it's a 6 at this point, I'd say. Definitely over a 5. It probably should be a 5 or a 4 in retrospect. Fingers crossed. But, this is where we're at. So hopefully, things get worked out in a way that's actually positive in the long run. Okay, well.